Ladies and gentlemen, designed, developed and manufactured straight out of Wolfsburg is what we have here. This is the new Volkswagen Tayron, and it's Tayron, not Tayron, just to get that right for those confused about how that might be pronounced. Well, this is the one that sits between the Tiguan and the Touareg. So if you've been looking at the Tiguan but you wanted something a bit more practical, then voila, this is the one that you go for, because you can spec this up with up to 7 seats configuration. But that would also affect the powertrain that you go for, because this here is the hybrid version, which means you can't have a 7-seated option with this one because it needs that battery space to be able to do that. But if you wanted a 7-seat option, you can go for the 2 turbo diesel versions, for example. Speaking of which, the powertrains available, we have the hybrid version, so mild hybrid, we have plug-in hybrid, we have 2 turbo diesel ones, and also 2 turbo petrol versions as well. But anyway, let's start with the design as always, and then we go inside and take it for a drive and talk about how this drives on the road. Because we have DCC, which is exciting. Starting with the design, what you get depends on which version you go for. So you got Life, you got Elegance, and the R-Line. This R-Line version here also has the black style packaging, which means you will get some black detailing all around the car, including that black seat cover on the seats, which we'll show you when we get inside the car as well. But right away, you notice the light bar that goes across the front. We've got ID lights as well for the Matrix LED light. We've got an illuminated Volkswagen logo on the front, and then you got the R badge situated right there. Below here, it's nicely raised off the ground as well. You got nice ground clearance. You got a honeycomb design on the front for the grille. The camera's there for the ADAS system as well. And then we'll move over to the side of the car here. Because this has the black style packaging, you get that black cladding here, and also 20-inch alloys on this, which you can also choose some different alloy styling as well to suit your preference if you wish to do so. So when you go on the configurator, you can do all that kind of stuff. Our badges here again, you got the black mirror in piano black. You also get this black detailing here as well. I think it looks really smart. This is long as well, so it's longer than the Tiguan, which allows for that space for the extra row in the back if you go for the version that allows for that. And then we get this nice crease that goes here to make it look a bit sporty. Volkswagen logo there, and this line just adds to that elongated feel of the car, kind of raises a bit higher here, so you can see that. We've got space for filling up the car here, and because this is the plug-in hybrid version, on the other side, we do get space to plug in the car. It supports up to 50 kilowatts fast charge, so if you need to quickly top it up, you'll be able to do that in no time at all. It's not a big battery, so you don't need any faster. The charger doesn't need to be faster than that, basically. On the back again, we've got the IQ light, which adds to this light bar that goes across the back again, just like the front. I think it looks smart, so it looks very sharp. It makes it stand out on the road, basically. And then you got that honeycomb design here, which is just a fake sort of cladding on the back. And again, you got a nice diffuser there. The Volkswagen logo on the back is also illuminated as well. And we got a tiny little bit of a roof spoiler there. And then we've got back window wiper. And then Tayron on the back. But like I said, it's pronounced Tayron, not Tayron, which I nearly did in the first place. We look at the boot space, we've got a massive boot space here. I will leave all numbers on the screen so you guys can see what they are. So you can fold the seats down to get extra boot space as well. But this is very practical in terms of what you can do with it. If you have the 7-seater, you're looking at around 350 litres or so of boot space. But like I said, we'll leave all the numbers on the screen so they are accurate for you guys. Underneath here, you can store more stuff as well. We've got charging cable that's stored underneath there. So entirely up to you. There's still plenty of space to store things away as well. Also means if you want to remove the parcel shelf cover here, you can also store it away nicely, so you don't have to worry about where that goes, basically. But nice and practical, which is what this is all about. Practicality for families who wants to drive a lovely looking SUV like this one. Let's have a look on the inside. So in the back seat, it feels very nice here. We have Harman Kardon sound system. We have 2 USB-C ports over there. We've got heated seats as well with climate control on the back. This actually has 3-way climate control, which means you can control that side, so the passenger side. You can control the driver, and you can also control independently for the passenger sat at the back as well. The material here is really nice. I like this black style package in terms of the seat covers. I think they've done well there. And also headroom. Plenty. I'm about 5'11", so you can see there's loads of space there for me to sit here comfortably for a long period of time, long journeys and so on. In terms of the near room, there's plenty of that as well. There's no problems there at all, so there's loads of space there. There's still a bit of a transmission tunnel here because of different powertrain options available, but it's not so high that you can't sit someone in the middle comfortably without worrying too much about their positioning for the knees and stuff like that. But I love the knee positioning. It's not raised high that it becomes uncomfortable over a long period of time, so that's really important. Plenty of space to tuck in my feet as well. In fact, it just feels really comfortable. It's got armrest here as well, which is really cool, but it's got a little trick up its sleeve here. So you've got your cup holders here as normal, so you can sort of change them as you wish to do so. But you can also tilt this to, or angle it to, you know, for whoever's viewing this. So if I was to read a book, I can place my tablet there, for example, and now it's facing me. I can read comfortably. And if I'm not doing anything, I can just rotate it back to the middle. It doesn't quite click into place properly though, which is a shame, but it sort of does ever so softly. So yeah, but you can just put it back into place and you can have your cup holders there, or bottle holder or whatever. And when you're done with it, tuck it into place, push that back, and you're good to go. What you can also do as well is move this seat forwards and backwards. So you can see there, I can move forward if I need to. So that creates more space in the boot for you. You can also move the back area as well. So if I was to move this here, you can see there. So now I'm sat a bit more upright rather than leaning back as the way that I was before. But again, that just allows for more space at the back. If you were to have a 7-seater though, as an adult sat at the back, you're gonna struggle to sit comfortably here. This is perhaps more geared towards having extra space for more kids if you have them, so you can sit them at the back. What you can do though is move this forward, so you can slide this forward, so you're at the mercy of the person that sat there to move the seat forward to allow you to have a bit more space. So as an adult who's 5'11", you can see that I can still be able to sit here comfortably for short journeys, not long journeys still. I think on the market right now, you have the likes of the Santa Fe, which has a bit more space at the back for the passenger on the third row, which I think they designed that with that in mind already. But having said that though, this is going to be still important for Volkswagen, because for their customers, who doesn't want the likes of the ID Buzz and they want something like this, or even the Tiguan with more space, then this is a great option to have. Over in the front, we have a really nice cabin here. We have a good mixture of premium, style, technology, and so on, and even being able to customize it and make it your own so you feel nice and cozy here. So let's work from a left to the right. So we have this illuminated trim, which you'll find all around the car. Some of the versions that you get in terms of the interior, you get real wood as well in there. But this one comes in this suede sort of Alcantara sort of finishing. I like the stitching on it as well. It matches the rest of the car with the blue color as well. I think it's really nice. And then we go over here in front of us, we have a 10-inch instrument cluster, which can be dynamically controlled as well. We have head-up display in this one. What they've also done here as well is the fact that we have actual physical buttons here. So they've removed those touch capacitive one that we normally see in these cars with Volkswagen Group anyway. They've removed it and replaced it, put it back to how it was, because they said, we learned our lesson, we'll listen to you guys, we'll put the buttons back, which I am completely happy with. We have acoustic glass here as well, so it feels nice and comfortable in terms of being quiet and just really nice in it, adds to the comfort level. And then we move over here, we have a big 15-inch display. There's also a 12.9-inch version, but you can opt for this big display. But I think this big display works really well with the size of the car in the cabin here. We move further down over this area. We have this rubber grippy area, which you can place stuff so it doesn't move around the car. But if you lift this up, we get 2 wireless charging mats, which is brilliant, and also 2 USB-C ports there. This wireless charging mats are 45 watt wireless charging speed, but not to worry, they are also cooled as well. So if you're worried about your phone overheating with that level of speed, that is there. The iPhone is only like 15 watts wireless anyway. Most devices can't even handle that, so you'll be fine. Over here we have a rotary dial, which is also dynamic, so it gives you a backlit slider function, so you can use it to control your volume like so, and also you can press it, then that gives you this drive mode. So you got eco, go across to comfort, got sport, individual settings as well, which you get to play around with your DCC settings and stuff. Slide across, we can also change the ambient color in the car, so you got lounge, joy, energetic, minimal, yours, and inactive completely to turn it off completely. So you can do all those things, which is really cool. So this is all dynamic, which means that we're able to move the gear shifter right next to the steering. So more space up in the front. And then we move to this side. It's very spacious. As you can see, I have my camera nicely situated here, comfortably with still plenty of space to go. I just moved that out of the way for a second. We get a divider here, which you can also remove as well. So you can move it forwards or backwards, entirely up to you. It's got a nice grippy material there as well, which means things won't be sliding everywhere. We've got this armrest, which you can also slide forwards and backwards, which I normally slide forward because it's better for me. And also you can adjust the height as well with precision. Open that up, we get 2 bottle holder spots there, so you can tuck them away, tuck them in there, and you are good to go. It's nicely secure as well. It's got the pop out holders that secures it into place so it doesn't move anywhere. And then underneath here, There's also space to store things. I'm not sure what you'd slide there or store. Maybe like a card or something. You can place them all underneath there very discreetly so no one knows that it's there. And there's also a 12-volt port just there for your vacuum cleaners and stuff if you want to clean up the car or anything like that. The glove compartment is not that spacious, but it's okay. I don't even think people put stuff in their glove compartments these days. Maybe actual gloves would actually fit there, but yeah. There's Harman Kardon sound system in here, which sounds absolutely fantastic, which I've mentioned already. There's no sunroof in this particular version, but you can opt to get sunroof in this. You've got the black style seat cover and sporty seats as well. Looks really cool. I love the R logos on the headrest as well. Really, really nice and comfortable. This has the ergo active seats as well, which means you can get seat massage, heated seats, ventilated seats as well. Again, just making this a lot more comfortable, especially for long drives. You want to come out the car not feeling tired, so that's really good. So more on the display, it's very intuitive, very smooth. So we get these illuminated sliders here for your climate control and volume as well, which is good. They've changed that. It's been like that for a while now. And if you've been in one of these before, it's very familiar. So we can swipe across to see more menu options and so on and so forth. We can tap this to show you all the apps available, so all the menu options. For example, we can tap that sound option here to change that Harman Kardon sound system. You can reset it for 1, or you can tap that and that gives you a quick way to quickly just change it, like vibrant, speech, relax, and so on. But if you know what you're doing, tap that. And then you can change some of the settings like subwoofer, mids and treble, etc. You can also game in here, by the way. We've also got IDA, which is updated, or an update to come in to allow you to do conversational chat GPT with the car, which is good. I think you can do like 5 questions in a row or something like that. But I haven't used it myself to give you full updates on what that actually does. We go to seats, we got seat massage. Remember I was talking about that ergo active function for the seats, for the front passenger and the driver. So you got different options for that seat massage. The quick menu options, which is something that you might use most of the time, is if we tap this car option here, you can quickly turn on or off your head-up display. You can see other options there as well. If we go to assist, this gives you all the options in terms of the driver assist system. So you've got lane keep assist, speed warning, attention warning, adaptive cruise control, and so much more options there. If you want to look at it a different way, you can also have image view. So you can tap different areas and it will tell you what you need to do. By the way, looking at the tow thing there, I forgot to mention this car is actually able to tow up to 2 tons, I think. We'll leave on the numbers on the screen, so this can be as practical as towing your caravan, for example. We go into mode. This is where you can change some of the options for eco, comfort, sport, and individual. If you tap individual, this is where you can go into that DCC, so you can have comfort or go all the way to sport, so you can change things like your steering level, the drive, and so on. So you can also go back to sport, comfort, etc., and so on. We go to atmospheres. This is like the ambient lighting in the car, like we showed already with the rotary dial. You can do lounge, joy, energetic, etc. Set your own if you want to. And then if you go into hybrid mode, we can change the settings here as well for E mode, so we can have this run on electric power. If we tap hybrid, this would then work in tandem. So you've got electric motor and combustion engine working together optimally. Or you can manually control this, so you can split the way you want it to run independently. So it's entirely up to you how you want to do that, but I would leave that to work itself out by itself. No need to be messing around with the manual control. More on the powertrain, we have the Tayron e-hybrid, which gives you an impressive electric range of up to 126 kilometers, combined range of up to 900 kilometers. We have the Tayron ETSI, which is equipped with a high-tech mild hybrid powertrain and 48-volt system and active cylinder management. We have the Tayron TDI, which is the option to have 110 kilowatt TDI, and also we have the 142 kilowatt TDI as well. We then have the Tayron TSI, which gives us the option for 150 kilowatts and 195 kilowatt TSI engines options. So how does this drive? Well, for the sake of this review, we are driving the 1.5 ETSI version, which is the 272 PS R-Line edition with the black styling package. So 0 to 62, you're talking 7.3 seconds, top speed 133 miles per hour, which isn't too shabby at all. This is also 400 Newton meters of torque, which isn't too bad either. You get more torque here when you go for the likes of the TDI and so on, which is typical of diesel engine. So that's that out of the way. So 3 things that Volkswagen said about this car is this is all about comfort. So in terms of the body control and stuff when you're driving, and you also have precision. So when it comes to the way that you drive around corners and stuff, this should be nice and precise with the steering and so on. We have DCC as well for the chassis control, which makes it nice and dynamic for whichever settings you have it, whether it's comfort or also for sport. And then the third thing, lastly, is stability. So 3 things: precision, stability, and comfort. So combine all those 3 things together, this should give you the best driving experience possible. Well, does it actually match up in the real world? I think it depends on which powertrain you go for. In this particular version, yes, the driving precision is great when you're driving through all these bends and corners. You can really chop the car around the bends. Yes, you still get not so good body control in terms of how comfort it is. So you still get a bit of lean because this is a very heavy car. It's a big car. And considering this is actually the 5-seater version as well, you still get that heavy lean around bends and stuff like that. Where I notice a bit of difference when it comes to lag and the way that it just responds to when you put your foot down is when you go for the TDI versions. So you put your foot down, it feels kind of sluggish. And when you're throwing it around bends, it's not as stable. It feels very unsettled when you drive that particular version. So for me, this is the version that I would go for because it feels a bit more settled on the corners. It feels really nice and responsive as well. The electromotors helps with moving off the line and it's really good. In terms of comfortability in the car as well, you're talking things like the acoustic glass. It's nice and quiet in here. In electric mode, it's also very quiet as it can be. You still get the windy motor noise here and there, but not to the extent where it becomes annoying for long journeys. As for the driving profiles, let's talk through that as well. So we have eco mode on right now, which is using the electric motors, which means it's just quieter. And then we have comfort as well, still quiet, nice and comfortable around bends and stuff like that. And it's not too aggressive. And then we're sticking to sport mode. The steering becomes a bit stiffer, becomes sportier. It feels a bit more responsive as well. The brakes feels great as well, which is nice and which is good, fills you with confidence. And then you go around corners and it just grips the corners really well, which is not too bad at all. You got that 4Motion in action as well. And then if you're going to individual, I can then control the DCC by going into settings. So here, right now, I've got it right at the top end on the sport mode, but I can also drag it down and come back to comfort mode. But sticking into sport mode to match the steering, the drive, and also the exterior engine sound, you get this nice combination of a sporty feel. But one thing to bear in mind though is when you do put your foot down to get it to move off, the engine does sometimes sound like it's doing a lot of work. So you can hear it go like now. So you got those high revs as well, and then you got plenty of torque at lower revs. So you quickly get it in before anything. So you feel that sporty nature very quickly. So that's pretty much on the driver profile. So you're gonna wanna mess around with some of the settings and see which one suits your preference and whatever mood you're in. So right now, obviously, I'm in a mood for speed and sort of sporty mood. So I've put it in the individual mode, everything dialed all the way up, including that DCC, and it does really well. Apart from that engine sound, I think it just sounds too painful, I think. So that's probably not something I enjoy in this. Having said that though, when it comes to how comfortable it is and me talking about how grippy it is for me, the front seats are sporty, which means I'm kept in my seat at all times. I don't feel too much body roll, which is good. However, I can't say the same about the passenger at the back. So right now, my video guy is sat at the back and he feels it a lot more in terms of the roll around the corner because the seat is not sporty enough to keep him in position so that he doesn't feel that body roll as we're going around all these bends and tight corners. So that's something to bear in mind. So if you want to do that, you probably want to do that on your own when you're not going to put your passengers in discomfort and they might get car sick. But I think overall though, really nice drive experience. But like I said, the caveat is getting the right version for you. And I think this is probably the one for me. The compromise here though is if you then get this, you will lose that third row at the back. You won't be able to get that 7-seater there. So there's this situation or scenario where you just can't have it all. So you just have to pick and choose which suits your preference. But I think whichever one you go for, especially for families out there who are looking for something that's stylish, something that's practical and still comfortable, I think it doesn't matter which one you go for really when you consider all those things. But from my perspective, I think this is the one to go for. And I'm willing to trade off that third row. But then that might defeat the purpose really. I think people that want to get this will be getting it for that third row because it gives you that extra option to fit more people in the car. But overall, I think it's a decent car. And pricing wise as well, I think it's reasonably priced. We'll leave all the numbers on the screen. I won't say it verbally just in case it changes, but from what I've seen, I think it's actually reasonably priced. And it actually makes me worry for them in terms of where do we place the Tiguan now when this actually exists? Because this is more practical, gives you so much options in terms of powertrain and styling as well. So I don't know. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below, what you think of that. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Excellent drive, really good car, loads of options, feels nice and premium as well. And yeah, I think it will stand the test of time in terms of the styling on the outside as well, for sure. But over to you, yeah. Let me know what you think in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.